Anyway, welcome, Rob.
Well, thank you.
Commissioner Jones, and we'll look forward to what you're going to enlighten us with today.
Well, some of you that are sitting here, of course, I give my monthly meetings at the Chamber of Commerce board meeting every morning. Try to keep everybody updated on what's going on, but I didn't know exactly what to bring up, so I thought I'd just start off at where we were in Pickens County in 05 to where we're heading and what we've got done so far. As you know, I come on board in 05. We had a few issues we tried to work on, and anytime anybody wants to break in with a question, please do so. I'm real informal, so don't hesitate. But we had some issues out here that needed to have some addressing. Our ambulance service, we did not have a full-time fire department in Pickens County other than the volunteers. Our 911 system was behind development. There's many items, and I'm going to go over just a few of them. But one of the first things when I took office, we tried to address was the ambulance service 911 system. That fell into place when we were able to move into the administration building that we're at now back in 06, first of 07. We built a new 911 system on the backside of the model old building that was back there, on the backside of the administration building, and upgraded that 911 center. Those upgrades now are to the point where if you use your cell phone anywhere in Pickens County, it'll pretty well pinpoint you where you're at with your cell phone. But also, we switched over to a code red system that instead of trying to rely on so much on these tornado sirens, the code red system has been very helpful calling you home. Most of y'all know how that operates. Ambulance service was in dire straits. When I took office, we were running 3 ambulances. Couldn't hardly keep 2 of them running. We were collecting approximately $14,000 every 3 months. Since then, in the last 4 years, we made some changes. We've now got 4 nearly brand new, actually we've got 6, but we've got 4 nearly brand new ambulances. 2 of them are brand new. We've got 2 new ambulances that are back up. All 6 of them are 4-wheel drive. I know they're a little rough operating, but when you have to deal with the mountains, it's pretty aggravating, but when you're laying there with a heart attack, it don't matter if it's 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. We got to get in and out, and with the snow that we've had on the mountain, they've been very helpful. We have 4 ambulance systems here in Pickens County. We've also, as you know, we've worked out a deal with an air ambulance service behind Station 11. We charge them $1 a year for basing a helicopter ambulance there behind the Station 11. But the deal is that they have to buy all their fuel from Pickens County Airport. So it benefits both of us in the long term by having one stationed here 24/7 as well as that. The billing of the ambulance service, I'm going to go back to that real quick. As I said, we were collecting approximately $14,000 every 3 months. We have now got it switched, and we're working with a company, have been working with a company out of Kennesaw, Ackworth, that we're collecting on the average of $120,000 a month. We were having issues with the billing process of Pickens County. It was taking about 11 to 14 months to get the billing out. And by that time, as Joe can allude to, if you wait that long to send your bill out, the insurance company's not going to pay. So we had some issues, and I went back all the way back to 94 and cleaned up a bunch of old debts that were still hanging on the books since 94. So we got all that pretty well laid to rest. Since then, we have got on the website for Pickens County. Some of this information, all this information I've handed out here is on the website. As you will see, we'll talk a little bit about roads, which that has been an issue over the past few years. But where it says Shop Pickens First on the upper left-hand corner, all this information here is on the website. This is showing you all the roads that we have done since 05-06. The 002, you'll see some of 001. We went ahead and arbitrarily put those in there because that's either on the west side or the east side. So you know how many roads were done on one side and how many roads were done on the other. We've also got it broke down in mileage. I'm sorry, I'm on the water lines. Let me go back to the roads. I'm sorry, my fault.
Did you use 515 as just the east-west separator?
You're talking about on the districts?
For the colors?
No, we use the boundaries as best we knew.
Okay.
So that's actually the boundaries on the roads.
Okay.
The roads went all the way back to 06 again. That is paving, building some roads, and repairing with hard and gravel. As most of you know, we've got about 450 miles of paved road in Pickens County. We still got 107 miles of dirt road in Pickens County. And contrary to popular beliefs, a lot of those dirt roads people not want to pave for different issues. You know, one, that keeps traffic down. They don't want that much traffic going by their house. Number two, they still ride horses. So it does make it a little aggravating on some things, but that's how it is. You can kind of breeze through that. It goes all the way up to 2011. We haven't put any roads for 2012 yet, because we're just now getting into the paving season. We're going to be doing 3 roads in Marble Hill here in the next, hopefully starting next week. From there, we're moving to an area down here on the south end of the county where we just have replaced a lot of water lines in the subdivision. Got them out of the road, and we're resurfacing those roads in there. We're heading from that point up towards Jones Mountain Road, and we have got an individual up there that has built a house up on a dirt road, and he is willing to donate $100,000 toward the paving of that road. Henceforth, I moved him to the front of the list on that particular road there. So we're going to go ahead and do that one. And plus, we got another road on Burnt Mountain area that we're going to do. And then as soon as the city of Jasper gets the water line moved out of Camp Road from a four-way stop, and they're in the process of doing that, we're going to resurface that road and try to clean that road up a little bit. So on the paving line, that's what we've got. Of course, we built bridges. On the very back page, so total 3 bridges that we have done on that one. Now on the next group page, it's got Shop Pickens first in the upper left-hand corner. Those are water lines. That's the history we've done from water lines from 04 to 0. It starts around 04, 05, 06. We've brought that one through to date, and that gives you an overview of the water lines that we have installed so far with the cost estimate on the very back page. It gives you the areas that those water lines are in, and then we've also got them marked within the district while those water lines were ran. We just ran. We tried to stick with an 8-inch on the main lines and a 6-inch for subdivision lines. We'll probably one day be stepping that up to a 10-inch, 10 to 12-inch line eventually on that one. Try to get water to every end of the county. That's pretty, but all this is on the computer. You can bring it up on the Pickens County, Georgia website, pickenscountyga.gov. Click on to your, actually we got the finances on there. We got what's done in the road department, water department, sites around Pickens County. We've got on that one. We did get, as I mentioned earlier, we did finally, as of 3 years ago, got a full-time fire department service here for Pickens County. Bob Howard is the fire chief that has done well getting that thing instituted. We have got 15 paid firefighters on staff. We keep Station 11, which is over here by the airport, is of course 24/7, and Grandview up there across Event Tree Drive is 24/7. Not only have we got fire trucks in there, but we keep an ambulance in those 2 stations also. But we're hoping in the future we can build to that. As it comes necessary and as the money starts freeing up in the future, if this economy, hopefully this economy will turn around. The area of the animal shelter, I know that was a big issue the last election time. That was a partnership between my office and the sheriff's office. That is going real well. I saw an article in the paper where the city of Jasper was having some feral cat issues, but City of Jasper helps us out with the animal shelter. Lonnie, who works for the city and handles the animals for the city, does partner with us a lot, helps with the larger animals, cows, horses. Of course, now he's dealing with cats. We try to reciprocate.
Those cats probably escaped from the city cat house.
And I didn't know this, but you can't retrain a feral cat.
Nope.
Once a cat's feral, you cannot retrain it. So,
You know what that means.
yeah, I'm not going there. But anyway, I'm fixing to lose my train of thought on that one, Don. But as most of you know, in the last 3 years, the millage rate has stayed the same. We're still at 6.26 millage rate for the county. Now, I'm not speaking for the school system, for the county. And don't know what this next year is going to bring. And in a minute, I'm going to talk about a few other items. But with the new form of government coming in place January 2nd of next year, we're trying to figure out how we're going to manage that. But it looks like we're going to have somewhat of a tax increase to manage that increase of government. As bad as I hate to, I don't think it's going to be a whole lot, but there will be some more expenses that will have to be done for these other two individuals that are coming on board. The breakdown, most of y'all, if you don't know what the breakdown of that form of government is, these two individuals that are running for office will be policymakers and policymakers only. We don't know when the meetings are going to be, because that's something that they'll have to vote on in the first meeting. If they want to have 1 meeting a month, 2 meetings a month, 3 meetings a month, I don't know. Or whoever the chairman is won't know that until that's the first year. The chairman will act as a county manager and will do day-to-day operations only. Like I said, these two individuals will be strictly policy makers. So it's going to be interesting for a lot of the citizens in the future, you know, when they can walk into an office, either get an answer within 24 hours or less. Might not be the answer they want, but they can get an answer. Now it's going to have to wait till the board meets. So could slow down a few things. Back to roads a little bit. I know we're going to talk about the Transportation Investment Act here in a little bit, but when 06 rolled around, we finished up on a traffic study for Pickens County. What that did, we were collecting approximately $500,000 a year from the DOT for, we used to call it LARP. It's now switched to LMIG. Don't ask me what it stands for, another acronym. But that $500,000 was very helpful to go through the keeping up of the surfacing of our roads. That, of course, went to $1 million for a few years after we got the transportation study done, because if another county wasn't needing the money, they'd automatically call us. We can make a decision within 24 hours if we want to accept it or not. That, again, is going to change in the near future. But when the economy went south, we were collecting probably zero. A lot, 1 or 2 years there from the DOT, trying to keep roads paved, so we were doing everything in-house. We do own our own equipment, and it costs approximately, even owning our own equipment, it'll cost you approximately $70,000 to $75,000 to $80,000 a mile to pave a road just to buy the asphalt. So with our own equipment, we're hoping that this year we're going to probably bring in. They have kind of loosened up on a few funds from the GDOT under LMIG. We'll probably wind up getting around $360,000 to help us pave a few roads here in the county. We've got we're still trying to, once the airport gets finished up here, we're going to put in a parking ride over there across from Motel 6, somewhere on that Camp Road. So there'll be another new parking ride going in over there. So that money has already been set aside for the DOT. So we're looking for better things in the future. Since we're talking about the DOT, I guess many of y'all heard about the TIA, Transportation Investment Act, the new SPLOST tax for the DOT. That is being promoted very strongly by the State Chamber of Commerce. They're wanting all the other Northwest, the RCs, which we're in the Northwest Georgia RC. There's 12 RCs around the state to come in and help sell this product that they're trying to put out. We as Pickens County might have a few issues with it. We're more or less a donor county. They want us to give, you're looking at somewhere around $48 million for a 10-year project. If you do the math, normally on a 5-year SPLOST, you collect around $30 million. So in a 10-year SPLOST, you should collect around $60 million. What we're looking at on the projects that we're getting is probably $48 million projects on the 3 that we've got that are now on the constrained list. And some of us have some issues with it. So don't know how well that's going to go when it hits the January 31st voting.
Would you elaborate on your issues with this, please?
Well, we put in 6 projects. Out of the 6 projects, we wound up with 3 of them. One of them, of course, is the widening of 53 here, and the improvement of Industrial Boulevard on the other side. Another one wound up being the turning lane on Antioch Church Road on 515. And the other one was the phasing of a project of a bypass around Jasper, which tentatively would be starting at Philadelphia Road, where it goes into 53 on the west side of town, making an arc coming around on the somewhere around the hospital, preferably on the south side, still making an arc, and it would go around and come out over there in front of pretty close to Dragon Drive, and then it would go from there and come out across and go across between Tate and Marble Hill on Highway 53. That's the preliminary plan of a bypass around Jasper. Part of this money was going to be used for the phase one of that, which would be the first arc section. Granted, they've got a lot of hoops. There's been no engineering done on this project. So that's even though that's on the project we voted on, a lot of counties are having, when you start looking at the money, what the state's going to be collecting, if you look and see what the engineering costs of these projects are, I don't think there's any money left to build the roads or not. So anyway, that's some of the issues I'm having with it. The road here at 53 widening is a project that's been with the DOT since 1988. Now they're talking about using our TIA money to build this instead of going back to what happened to the money that was originally talked about back in 1988 to this time here. That's another issue I've got with it. And normally you would get money, any county or city would get money from the state because they're still collecting fuel tax. The state is still collecting its fuel tax revenues. Nobody has notified me that are they going to direct those funds to somewhere else? Are we still going to get those funds for the county? I've heard both stories. I've heard it both ways. So we don't know whether those funds, if this passes, whether those funds are going to be directed, say, to another entity, and Pickens County be left out of those funds. So
how do they allocate the fuel tax?
The fuel tax is normally allocated by the population of which the county that you live in. And then, of course, there's a few things that it works on. That's one of them, knowing what kind of shape the roads are in. You might be able to squeeze them for a little bit more depending on who your representative is in this area. Those are just a few of the issues that's going on.
Mike, did you say 60, approximately 60, and then we would get approximately 48?
That's correct.
So that's a $12 million issue there.
That's correct. And that's what you call a donor county. It's like living up here, your school taxes. You're living here for 4 mills of your school taxes automatically sent to South Georgia. That makes us a donor county. So there's some issues out there that are going to have to be resolved. Maybe they'll get resolved, maybe they won't. But they've got a pretty good sales pitch they got to do to make it work.
I can't imagine many people in Pickens County wanting that bypass.
I don't know. Somewhere down the road, if they're not going to do anything to 53 out here, they're going to do something. And that's been the issue the whole time. And that's when the bypass kind of flared up. It would concern me building a bypass to the fact that it's could take away from downtown business. On the other hand, if you come to Jasper, you come to Jasper anyway, whether you're a visitor or live here. So I don't know. I don't see it happening in my lifetime, but I hate to see the funds diverted from one project to another, and then neither one of them happen. But something's going to have to be done with this road out here, as most of you all know. It's pretty tough getting into town.
Gotta be patient.
Well, it's 1988. That's about a generation worth of patience, I think. So I don't know. But
I'll have to be patient leaving the chamber to turn left.
Yeah. That is not easy.
But we've got some some things we're looking for the future. I mean, we're going to have to get over this, the new form of government that's going to be coming on board July 2nd, and there's going to be a learning curve in that process. We're hopefully the military will stay the same. Our sales tax revenues they're still climbing, but of course they're not like they were in 06 and first of 07, but they're still going up. And slowly but surely they, take a nosedive back in that area, but they have turned around and started coming back. We think that, as I said many times, that the biggest issue why our sales tax revenues are going up are 2 gas stations here in town, the Racetrack and the Quick Trip. Has really been They stay busy. It's not so much they're selling so much gas as people come in, hot dogs, hamburgers, cigarettes, Coca-Colas. I mean, they're just bustling out, you know, with that stuff, and it makes it tough to get into some of the areas. But I've kind of rattled on. Is there any particular subject anyone wants to?
Is there any
Talk about
more news on funding for the train station?
The what we've done there in 2008, when the DOT went through its change down there, everything just stopped. As you know, Moreland Natbelly has now, they're an engineering firm out of Atlanta that has taken over all the TE grants throughout the state. The $800,000 funding that was originally placed for that is still there. That is federal money. That money is still there. As you know, we had another $400,000 TE grant for the crossing behind the courthouse. It was wondering why it taking so long to get the paperwork done on that $400,000. The courthouse was going to be done before we ever broke ground for the parking lot behind the courthouse. So what we did is move those funds to the TAPE project also. Now, we were told every first Monday of each month we have a DOT meeting at my office with representatives from the Georgia Department of Transportation, my group. We try to bring in the mayor of Talking Rock, and Johnny, the mayor of Jasper, comes every once in a while, and sometimes the mayor of Nelson shows up. But it gives us a view of what's fixing to happen. Part of this meeting is to see what the latest stance is for the TE money for the Tate Depot at Tate. They seem to think that thing is still on go. So we just keep waiting and wondering if that money is slow moving.
Very slow.
Very slow.
Would you be ready for it if the money all of a sudden showed up in your office?
We're the property, of course, across the street there has already been donated to the county. We already hold clear title of that. We're waiting for them to give the go-ahead to finish up the engineering on the grading that we need to do on that 7 acres there to put the building on, and then it's ready to go out for bids on moving the building from the north side of the road to the south side of the road.
So part of it being turned at a different angle has been settled?
That has been settled. That has issue that's gone away. We've got, so those plans are being and have already been redrawn. So it's really back in the state and the federal government's hands at this time.
Did you give any indication at all of when they will release the funds? No.
They told me at the Monday morning meeting that we had this last week, they said hopefully by the end of August, 1st of September. Was you there, Jerry?
Yes.
They was hoping something would move by the latter part of August, 1st of September.
Yeah.
Now that was what they mean by that, dealing with DOT paperwork. We're just moving paperwork. And that's all we've done since just about 06, 07, is move paperwork. But that's when you
It's
deal with
discouraging,
payers.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Sound like local bureaucracy is almost as bad as Washington.
They took lessons. Oh.
Well, we saw the advent of the National Historic Railroad Society that was formed and created to help with that project. And last meeting they voted to disband.
That was the group that had formed to do the historical part of it, which they made the train models and all that. Yeah. They have disbanded right now until things see what happens. Only thing I know, the building is still sitting out in the right of way of the state highway, and they would like to get rid of it in one shape, form, or fashion. So I'd like to see it saved, but I don't know what else to do. It's like trying to roll a boat with a rope.
Can you give us any more notes about the courthouse and when it's going to be finished or
Yeah,
whatever?
this is the conceptual view of the finished courthouse. We've signed the contract on it approximately 4 weeks ago, and the bid for the building actually come in a little more than $2 million cheaper than what we thought it was. We were figuring somewhere between 12 and 14 million. The bid package come in at 9.8 with a contingency fund. So we were well pleased with that. So when we were talking about a $12 to $14 million project, we could turnkey on the courthouse, get the paving done around the courthouse, that would clean up some of the city roads, parking lot that'll hold about 130, 140 cars, a new crossing there in the street. You're looking at a total project when this thing is done, probably about $11 million. So it's looking good. Like I said, the contract was signed 4 weeks ago, and the contractor believes he can build a building in 12 months with a 60-day lead period, to where when the building is done, then it gives them some time to tear down the courthouse annex and finish up that region. They wanted 60 days to get that done and get that cleaned up in the parking lot and all finished back on the backside. So this time next year, we should be looking at a whole new courthouse.
And you will move my bears back.
The bear, if they can try to look location, you're gonna have to battle that one, and now the library wants it, so I'm getting battle from both sides.
I already told them they couldn't have it.
This new facility, the new courthouse would have a holding cell for.
Joe, if you look at the back, the upper right-hand corner, that is the backside of the courthouse. If you look down at the lower entrance, that's a sally port.
Okay.
They're going to be bringing, all that's gated with electric gates, and you'll drive into the sally port, and then all the holding cells are in the basement.
That really makes it a lot better for society here as far as that's concerned.
So what is that? Is that a parking under that out in front of it, that right where my?
Yeah, that's all parking area. This is actually the parking space you see here. Excuse me, is actually where the annex is sitting now. Once you get that, you're looking at approximately on the original marble building, there's 15,000 square feet left in that building, and then the new addition on the back's going to give another 55,000 square feet. So you're looking at 55 and 15, somewhere around 70,000 square foot building there, give or take a few feet of a whole project, which means we're going to be able to move complete judicial in one location there. Now, the administration building that we're in now is going to stay. But it's going to stay administration building, but the judicial will be moving downtown.
Sounds surprising they're going to do it in 12 months to me.
They didn't flinch. So it's yeah, they hadn't flinched yet.
Well, if they're bonded, that's a performance deal for them.
I can't remember how the thing was eventually set up on the bond. I can't remember. I think we give a little more leeway than what we did on the
Maybe that
community center.
insurance to cover that.
Oh. That's right.
But there again, and talk about new buildings, the community center has, man, that thing has really been an asset. Since we opened that thing up in December, that thing has been pretty well staying booked up constantly throughout the spring, and which was a good feeling. I mean, it's getting the community room is getting good use. 3 classrooms are getting used very well. We're supposed to be getting some of the furniture in today for the outside pavilion, which should be coming in today. The grills and all. 4-H and FFA helped us plant all the shrubbery around the facility in the last 2 weeks. We've got some trees that are being planted this week and next week. So we're well pleased with what has going on there, what the community's got.
What do you got on the horizon, Rob?
What I got what?
On the horizon? We've been, courthouse been a great project, community center been a great project. Kind of looking during my time in Pickens County over the last 6-7 years. What can we see over the next 5 years?
I think what we're going to see over the next 5 years is infrastructure, strictly infrastructure. I'm thinking roads, water, and water resourcing. And that's what we've been planning on. Henceforth, the Coosawattee Water and Sewer Authority that I'm sitting on as chairman on that one. We're looking for water for Pickens County for the future. As you know, we have run a 8-inch main in front of Bent Tree Drive. We've also got an 8-inch main run at Big Canoe. We've got an agreement signed with them. We're going to tie them on there at that location, where we can either sell them water or buy water from them, or for emergency situation. We'd like to do the same with Bent Tree. Get them locked in. With the rules changing with EPD and water withdrawal permits for the future for this area, for the whole North Georgia area. We don't know what's gonna happen with these entities that have got, say you've got a $3 million water withdrawal permit and you're just using a third of that. We don't know if the EPD is gonna come in there and say, well, since you're not using it, we're gonna take that back. We're gonna leave you what you got, but we're gonna take the rest of it back. It's all holding on these water wars, whatever's settled out. So anytime you can attach yourself to another entity, such as a city or a county or another county, it kind of locks those permits in for the future growth of the whole area, not for that one entity. So that's what we're trying to do. Since you'll see the length of lines that we've put in here in Pickens County, we have now got water lines on all 4 boundaries of Pickens County. I've on the east side, see, I've run an 8-inch main all the way down some of the roads up there, and I've got water running into Dawson County to put water to one of their fire stations up there, because they didn't have water up there. I've got water run all the way out to the Gilmer County line, waiting somewhere in the future for Gilmer County Water and Sewer to come down and hook to us, where we can share water on that end. We've got 3 locations on the Cherokee County line that we're tied on to them, and we take water from them, buy it, and then sell it back to them, to where we go around the mountain for them. We partnered with them on that a few years ago. We're also bringing water in from Calhoun, City of Calhoun, that has really been an asset for Pickens County. And then we've got those springs back up and going in Tate, Georgia, that 60,000 gallon a day spring setups that we've got. We're working on, hopefully in the future, locking on with tying on more with the city of Jasper, interlocking our lines together there, and just try to keep it diversified in case anybody's got any issues, and we can kind of respond to a problem. I know Big Canoe, Bent Tree, Young Life, those areas, if they run out of water for some reason or another, you just can't run a garden hose through the woods and hook them up. I mean, you got always good to have a backup plan in case something does happen.
Does the city buy water from the county?
We buy, yeah, they do buy a little water from the county, and we sell them water, and we buy water from them. I mean, we kind of capitulate both ways depending on where we're at. The city is using one of our main lines going down from the Old Pine Street well all the way down to Dragon Drive. We've got an 8-inch main line that wasn't being used, and we're letting the city use it for a transmission line for water going down towards Dragon Drive in the high school area. We're also ready for the city, Hill City, to tie in there. We've got 2 8-inch mains down there they can tie on when they get ready. We've got another area up there right in front of Bent Tree Drive that we've got an 8-inch main. The city's got a main up there that we can tie, go ahead and get those tied together. So it's just a safety factor more than anything else. Not that we're in desperate need of water, we're doing real well, but you don't know for the future of the county, because if you're going to get any growth coming in, water and sewer, but water mostly is a big issue.
Is there any long-range plan to work toward a county-wide city water or sewer authority, much like they do at the airport?
No.
We got duplication of effort.
House,
if we could save a bunch of money.
That would, House Bill 49 was put together back in '99 for that scenario, where you wouldn't be duplicating the services in one area. Maybe somewhere down the future, to integrate the 2 systems together would be a thought. And then what you would, in my thinking, what you would do is, in the members that are tied onto those lines would be the voting members, to put a board in place and let them manage their own system. You'd have to have a county and the city be willing to turn the system over. Normally what would happen, you would have, you've got appraisal companies out there that would come out and appraise the system, and then if this entity wanted to buy the system from the county or the city, then they would buy it, and they would integrate both of them together, and then proceed that way. That's what's happening in Gilbert, a lot of other counties, and I don't see nothing wrong with that, but it would be a money saving factor, I think, for the future of Pickens County and the citizens that are up to anytime you can integrate the 2 systems together, it'd be great.
Is there any kind of emergency system to handle tornadoes and that sort?
Yes, that has already been in place. We experienced that this last one down here that we had down there around the Jerusalem area. Joe was very familiar with it. He got involved in it quite a bit. But with the full-time fire department, with the 911 we got together now, with the Code Red system, we had a pretty good, we had an excellent response. I can't complain about that. Had excellent response. Sheriff's Department did well responding, getting everything set up. Red Cross did a good job bringing everything in. We were very fortunate we didn't have any bad injuries. Had some scrapes and bumps and bruises. But yeah, it's looking good with the chamber building, with the community center up and going now. It is a shelter, can be used for a shelter now, so not to rely so much on the school systems. The system we got in place with the 911 and the EOC that we now got operating here in Pickens County, which is the Emergency Operations Center that we got above the 911 complex. When we have these storms coming in, we all pull in together, the city and the county and all of our infrastructure there. We get into one big room and got computer layouts, so we monitor everything coming in. We can respond to them pretty quick.
It was one of the best coordinated efforts I've ever seen since I've been involved in emergency services since the early 70s, and the effort that was put forth on the west end of the county with all the different departments and entities involved it ran as smooth as I've ever seen. They should be commended for it.
Yeah, they did a very good job. We were actually running ahead of the federal FEMA administration.
Right.
Robert, isn't the lower level of the county offices building also a designated shelter?
It's a designated pre-storm shelter. It's not designed for people to stay in there overnight, but say your mobile homes, houses that have been in tornado areas, if you know a storm is coming and you want to come, we open up the basement of that, and we can put about 80 to 120 people there till the storm is over, and then they go back home.
Is there a list published anywhere that designates the shelters that are available? Other than schools, I think most people know about schools.
Schools in the basement of the administration building is the only two pre-storm shelters we've got. Now, after a storm is over, you've got the schools and the community center that can be used as a housing shelter. But we've been very fortunate here, even the people that, heaven forbid, have lost their homes, that Red Cross has come in and put them either in a hotel or we're able to place them with some of their family members to where they wasn't just, put out here on the street. So it's worked out very well. The way we handle it on that.
Speaking of the Red Cross, what has happened to the Red Cross now that Andy has gone?
Well, in Pickens County, it's everything has come out of Gainesville. But we don't have a based representative anymore for this area, not just for Pickens County, for this area. There is some volunteers here that work for the Red Cross that are holding down other jobs. For instance, a lady by the name of Penny Aaron that works for Renaissance Bank is a Red Cross volunteer, and she responds to any storm damage, houses burning, that type of scenario. So they're just mostly volunteer, but everything's got to come out of Gainesville.
It kind of puts us at a disadvantage, doesn't
Yes.
it, from everybody else?
Mm-hmm. But Red Cross is going through some financial struggles and have been for the last 3 years. Yeah.
We at the New England Presbyterian Church had suggested to FEMA, I think it was, to use our church as a refuge.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is we couldn't qualify because we don't have a shower.
That's correct.
And if we can get anybody to donate the cost of a shower, our budget won't allow for that. But if we can get somebody, FEMA, to donate a shower to us, we'd be happy to do that.
And that's been the big issue all these years, the fact that, see, I don't have a shower in the administrative office. I don't have a shower in the 911 complex. We do have, when we built the Pickens County Community Center, we do have showers in it now. So that's why it'll work as a storm shelter after the fact. The school system, that's why it's always been the backup plan with the school system, because of the showers and the freezers and all, feeding people. But they have to be careful on that, because sometimes their backup generators are not connected to certain facilities there. So you have to kind of work on that one.
Rob, I know that property values are going down, and I know that some adjustments are having to be made accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
How do you figure that'll affect our millage rate in the future?
Well, that's a good question, Joe. I would suspect probably in the future it'll have to go up a little bit. We were fortunate in the last 4 years as individuals that I'm responsible for in the county, and I'm responsible for 9 departments. The ones that have retired, left one reason or another, I didn't replace. I didn't have to lay nobody off. I didn't have to do furlough days, but I just never did replace. For instance, I went from 38 individuals in the road department down to 18. I went from 14, 15 in the water department down to 9. So we've kind of trimmed those. I'm 2 individuals short in my office. I can't speak for all the other departments, such as judicial, tax office, those departments that I'm not responsible for. I can't speak for them. I'm just talking for the ones that I actually can hire and fire. We have trimmed it. That's why we were able to keep the millage rate the same the last 3 years at 6.26 without having to raise anything. And even doing that, we were able to get a full-time fire department started. So there's things that elected officials can do still if they would do it. Granted, you might have to ask somebody to have to work a little bit more, but heaven forbid that. But there's things that can be done to hold down the cost. But I'm still have some questions when we go to this new form of government. What's all going to be expected of me? What these 2 individuals want to do for the future of Pickens County. If they go in there and just using this for an example, if they go in there and one guy wants 5 fire departments built on one side of the county, the other guy says, well, I'll vote for yours, you build me 5 on the other side of the county. Then they throw it to the chairman to have to build all these fire departments, and all thing I can do, or whoever's sitting in that chair, all thing they can do is borrow the money and go do it. And then you start falling into a spiral that you don't seem to, a lot of entities don't get out of, so you try to build it as you go.
I think that's happening in some neighboring counties.
Yes, sir.
It's been an issue with me. But, yes, sir.
Can you comment on the firestorm of the appraisal?
What little I know. As you know, I have in the last 8 months to a year, we've got some new faces on the tax appraisal board. As most of you know here, they're the ones that hire the chief tax appraiser. He does not work for me. State took that away from county commissioners a few years ago. He actually answers to the appraisal board. There is some regrouping. I think most of the properties in Pickens County have lost, and Ben can probably help me more on this, somewhere around 25 to 30% of their actual value when you kind of round it off. So there's going to be a decrease in overall collection. What everybody's got to remember, though, just because your property values go down and you think the tax base drops off, for instance, we've got an $18.9 million budget for Pickens County. Less than half of that is actually property taxes. The rest of that money comes into sales tax revenues, business license, fines, forfeitures, those type of entities. So when somebody tells you, you need to go out there and pave my road because I pay all these property taxes, there's no need to argue with them because, some people think they're always right. But on the other hand, less than half of what you pay for property tax is actually the complete budget of the county. Because I went from, this year it was 18.9. The year before that we had a $22 million budget. So that, I'm trying to cut back, try to make ends meet. But yeah, I think if the spiral keeps going, and I'm like that, the gentleman that spoke Tuesday morning at Chairman Conley's breakfast, I don't think it's over yet. I think we're still going to see for the next 3 to 4 years, going to still see some effects of this. And there's going to have to be some corrections still made more down the road.
Go build a reservoir.
I'd love to build a reservoir.
Don's got a creek in his valley that you can dam up down
We
there.
have-
Make me just happy as can be.
How you gonna get to your house? You don't think reservoir?
I'll come around the other way, across the dam.
You can build him a bridge.
The new
I
dam.
was gonna say,
There'll be a
bridge
new,
would be nice.
there'll be a new dam there.
With
And,
with the economy as slow as it is right now, you can actually buy water cheaper from your neighboring counties and entities if you can actually build a reservoir. Henceforth, look at the issue that City of Canton and Cobb County's having when they just have built down there.
Is it full of water yet? Or what?
Yeah, I think it's pretty well close to being full. But we have looked at 2 creeks in Pickens County to pull water from, and my goodness, the engineering cost just to have one engineered to see if you can pull water is in over excess of $1.5 to $1.7 million, just paperwork. And then you don't have no guarantee you're going to be able to pull water out of that creek. Now, if you lived in Alabama or North Carolina, if a city wants to pull water out of a creek, they're going to drop a pipe in the creek. But we're under different guidelines here. So that's what we've been battling.
What about the facility on Yellow Creek Road? That's in Cherokee County.
That's in Cherokee County.
But
That's what they call off-site storage. They actually don't pump water from there, but what they do is as that water goes down the creek, they pump it way on down towards Canton.
Okay.
But when the weather gets dry and you start into a drought, they'll draw so much water out of that lake to replenish the water going down the creek to keep the levels at a certain height, and that's what that lake is for. It's what they use a formula called 7Q10 formula. It's a EPD formula for water levels, how much water you can pull out of a creek. But
Better be careful, Alabama start complaining about that.
yeah, but that's what it's for. And that lake they built in Cherokee County down in the city of Canton, it's the same type of lake. It's off-site storage. They pump that water from you know where the old Waffle House is down there at Riverstone Drive. They pump that water from there all the way to that lake.
Really?
And then they hold it there till it
goodness
till
sakes.
From the Etowah River?
Yep. They pump it while the Etowah River's running full. They pump that water up out of that lake and they hold that water there until they need it to put it back in the Etowah River to run down the creek as the levels start dropping. It's called off-site storage type scenario. It's not actually it's a reservoir, but it's not even water that you run a hose in to take it to your pumping station.
Takes from Peter to pay
Pay
Paul.
Paul,
though.
yeah. Any other questions?
Hey, Mike, are they building any new homes in Hendry?
No, too many homes in there that are bargains still, and a new house, you know, when it's finished, it's not worth what you just paid to build it. So, until that changes.
There is some being built in Big Canoe. We've got some contract homes being built up there. And there's some on the west end that are being built, not many. I mean, it's better this year than it was last year. But that's not saying a whole lot.
That's not Byrne that's building those houses.
Pardon?
That isn't Byrne that's building the houses in the Canoe.
The contractors own them?
No, it's the Greenwood Corporation.
Yeah.
Oh,
The whole-
same difference though, isn't it?
No. They're almost a holding company.
Burns works for them, right? Same difference, isn't it?
Yeah, but he has a separate real estate business that builds
Oh, sure.
and things. So the new homes are a different thing.
Rob, we appreciate it.
Oh.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
You're always willing to come and do for the training.
Well,
You got 7 minutes to talk.
Oh.
Don't give her some.
Yeah, don't give me 7 minutes.
normally what happens here is some of this stuff y'all probably already knew. Fortunately, she invites me to the board meetings, her and Mike, to sit in at the early morning board meetings when Mike comes on time. And we can sit in on.
He always leaves home about 7:30 or before. I see him sitting there having cereal or something.
Set your clock, Mama.
He crosses that cattle guard and I can hear him.
Except that meeting that I was late for was a 7:30 meeting.
Oh.
Yes.
I thought it was 8 o'clock.
Interesting observation, Rob. And working out of my house, I got a scanner that sits there and I listen to it during the day while I'm working, and the number of calls that our 911 system handles daily is just unbelievable. I just think they do a great job.
They have done a great job. Lee has done, since I put her in charge of that, she has really turned that office around and was able to get it fully staffed. We've got a building now that we run four full stations all the time, and she's got room to grow in that building. And it's been pleasantly surprising what you can do with new technology, such as the cell phones.
Small percentage of them are nuisance calls, maybe.
Well, some of them are, but just the sheriff's department alone, I noted this week that their case numbers are already up in the 8,000 number of calls.
Her group handles calls, City of Jasper, fire, EMS, all the sheriff's department. I think the last count I had since January this year, 45,000 calls. And that works on your log book, which means that it's filling up my servers and trying to keep all that stuff downloaded, and they want to sell me another machine, you know. But it has really expanded quite a bit.
How long do you have to keep those records, bud?
We have to keep them out, don't know between, I think at least 7 years. Might have to keep some of them longer because, you know, you always have court cases going on and accidents going
Depends on the
on.
severity. of
Using
what-
cloud storage for that.
We do not. We do not use cloud
A
storage.
lot of times it's cheaper to use cloud storage real time and
Mhm.
permanent storage
We-
than to have your own server.
Right. We've looked into that, but mainly I needed a server system to kind of maintain what's going through the computers from the outside to offices, because, you know, you kind of have to, some of your employees don't need to be on a lot of these websites. Don't be like that. But I want to thank y'all for inviting me, and hopefully we didn't stay too long.